different kind of advantage on the board. That's a lot of execution as far as, she's putting a lot of energy out there, but it also means that you got to think about how that's wearing down. Tata has she's fighting down and back. There. That's not an easy thing to do. We've been in danger for beautiful here where Janaina can dive underneath, which is what we're starting to see an attempt of.
Good position here from Janaina's legs. Gonna try to climb her grips.
Starting to get her first hook in, but Tata turns around. Settling into a comfortable position there. And Janaina's firing off these attacks quickly. To stay seated on the ground because that early takedown from Tata is not necessarily a position that she wants to go back to.
He's just firing off these attacks from bottom head. That arm bar just went for a triangle. It's being very, very aggressive from bottom positions. Really fun to watch.
And like you said, right, typically when we see athletes with this many repeat matches, one person is severely dominant compared to the other. The fact that they are 3 and 2 and Janaina is looking to even out.
Yes.
Yes, so she's looking to even out that score. It's pretty incredible. Incredible base, a couple good sweep and submission attempts from Janaina, but really able to stay strong here on top. Very strong position to be in, but nothing is a comfortable position when it comes to Janaina because she's firing off these attacks.
Janaina has been very impressive from her guard, but Natalie's defense has just been incredible. She was in some very tough positions. Always
a big attack here for Janaina.
Janaina looks like she's trying to adjust the grip, maybe go for the knee bar.
Yeah,
can't see if she has the knee line, Kendall.
Oh yeah, so there was a grip here, shown to be illegal by. It's a really exciting match, like you were saying, Danny. We've been talking about how happy, excited, and really thrilled she is to be in this event. So I think we're in advantage on the board for Brianna St. Marie coming up off the double switching on the near the ankle and then switching hips. And in is a little bit of what we're seeing here. And so oftentimes when she sucks a leg in like that is a very dangerous position. Passing goes because now is Louisa Curry together, which gives her a better opportunity to pass. Here from Brianna of Louisa with her left hand. You'll see has a really great John Wayne sweep.
A good job keeping Louisa's right foot off the mat, keeping it elevated, trying to keep her off back.
Playing those two off of each other is a really, really smart move by Louisa, and I've seen her
shoot her hips up and forward to try and get to the close guard, but Louisa did. On her side, Louisa trying to put her flat.
Now this is a different.
Really good job with that right knee for knee shield.
Also, as a last resort to not get pass through, and she can.
Representing Atos in the blue gi, Brianna St. Marie on bottom in the half guard ridges and a penalty.
Now we see this big sweep here from. We saw a bit of an necessarily to. We know that Louisa.
This is a good position for her to sweep. It's also, like you mentioned, a good position for Louisa's.
Look to some attacks. She knows that rather than her leg being on the side, it is over in a traditional 50-50.
World champions in this featherweight division. Very interesting stylistic matchup here.
Guard pulls. Oh, we had a pull there from Pato, but also a reach from Nagai. Pull was initiated before there was a reach on the leg, so Pato here on bottom.
Ability and dexterity in his legs to play guard. And Sam is just
nowhere safe to go. There's nowhere safe to settle in. Job there trying to throw the leg. Energy expenditure with very little. Now we've seen a switch from Pato here with opening up that lapel. So with that lapel, we saw the same kind of guard play from Janaina Lebre earlier on in the tournament. And the beautiful position.
Absolutely. Pato has so much experience from these lapel positions. Starts to invert. Absolutely. Pato has so much experience from these lapel. Pato won his.
Pato's very good at this double-seated position, but it leads you to being swept a little bit more easily. So now we see Sam return the position. Pato's very good at this double-seated position, but it leads you to being swept a little bit more easily. So now we see Sam. I think what's exciting about these two guys is that when you get matches where they are dead even and they are still extremely excited.
6 minutes in now, still all tied up at 2 points apiece.
Become more advantage scoring or more realistic, and that's what we saw. has one advantage on the board in 3 minutes.
Pato did have a great poker face. Of course, he has great leg locks himself, so I'm sure he's used to having his legs attacked, but didn't look like that put him in too much danger, but Sam did get the advantage for it and gives him the lead in the match.
We hear a big crowd answering for Pato as Pato comes up on top, puts 2 points on the
Control with that lapel, wrapped around his right leg. Sam is not an easy person to sweep, but when you do sweep him, as we've seen, he can sweep you right back.
Yep. And this is the kind of thing for Sam, too, with this advantage lead and being on the top, come back on top at the end. But clearly what we're seeing from Sam Nagai is not that. He knows. He respecting in on this omoplata here. Sweep and come up on top, but he has that pant grip on the left side, and he's using that to come up. He is looking to finish on top, but his leg was stuck. And it looks like he's still putting enough pressure to have it be a submission in play, and
Wow.
he's going to finish.
Advances in the crowd. Great omoplatas, great foot locks that he sets up from his guard.
We are right now when he won his first world.
Often.
And, you know, it's one of the reasons he actually talks about being...
The contrast, almost opposites in a lot of ways.
Absolutely. It leads him into off balances that open up the lower body, and then he has...
He has his hand in that cross collar grip. It's very dangerous. Like you mentioned, there's the omoplata. There's
and bring it over the top of his chest like he is now, and this position will lead him to the mat. But because of Isaac's foot underneath, he's able to cuff.
Great defense by Fabricio, controlling that right leg of Isaac. Trying to push the foot off the hip.
Wow, the time will...
He's winning these titles. He's winning them in dominant fashion. Collar chokes. This is always an
unspoken, well, not really unspoken, a lot of people's spying factor when timing is on the mat. And it's an interesting place to be. Their stronger passing position and out of strong position. That is a big deal to re-even out the match this way. And with that foot onto the shoulder and his left hand onto the lapel, cool to do because Tynan's also using his right leg to monitor the other leg of Pedro to keep him off balance, and uses that to come up on top, but it can be quite frustrating, right? Because you're like, wait, I thought I was going to score, and now we're here back in the same position again, and okay, I got to try something new, or I got to go one more time. I had all that effort and didn't get it going, but...
Pedro, like we talked about earlier, has just had such an impressive year, given Tynan some amazing matches, had some of the best submissions we've seen.
Or sometimes it's a position that athletes go to just due to feeling like they are exposed and they don't want to posture up and open themselves. And that athletes go to just due to feeling like they are exposed and they don't want to posture up and open themselves up. But as I say that, as he postures up, Tynan with a beautiful sweep comes right up on top here.
Timing on that was...
Pedro was going to escape that sweep once and kind of doing his own, even call it a knee cut because the knee was just in such a precarious position, but he did cut his knee back into the armpit of Pedro. But Pedro, look, he kept that grip. I mean, he still has.
That's pretty dominant for the person on top. Pedro looked like he was almost flat, but he recovered his knee.
The advantage that Tynan has does make a bit of a difference, though, because if Pedro were to come...
Rounds middleweight semifinal. Tynan scoring his 2 points with a sweep. He's been playing a lot of guard in this match so far. And he pulls again. This match so far. He pulls again.
Wow, big jumping motion there from Pedro Maia. Almost floated over the guard of Tynan. People will float over the legs and land right in side control sometimes already in a passing.
One of his sweeps.
Yeah, you guys will notice that Tynan's
going to advance in this middleweight crown division.
Yeah, Tynan switched over to 50-50, which especially at the end of the match when there are a lot of points on the board, or when there's a lead on the board, typically means that an athlete's looking to ride out that win. And we see Tynan Dalpra able to do that. Comes out with this.
Tynan Dalpra